Lords and ladies, welcome to Beyond the Source Wall bonus bonus episode, where we're going to go over the Dark Knight Returns story by Frank Miller. So I think the way this went down was I just got this in the mail, this absolute version of the story, plus it's like another story too, the Dark Knight Strikes Again, I think.
Let's not talk about that.
I think those are the two. I think those are the two tales told in this book, the absolute version. But we only did the Dark Knight Returns for now, and I'll probably be on my own reading if I want to read the rest because Sean seems like he's out. Hold on one sec.
I'm not subjecting myself to that again.
So, right when I picked it up and read it, it was awesome. I just wanted to say that. Like, I don't know, I liked its tone. It's definitely Sean, you mentioned one time like it was old. Like when you enter year one, you feel like that's like that, and you feel like this story and even the art design and the way it's told is almost told in an older fashion. And then when you get to year one, it feels
year
like
one seems much more timeless.
Yeah, I still agree with that.
You could hand that to someone and say this was written 2 weeks ago. Like it's a brand new comic, and I could read it and be like, okay, yeah,
for sure. I agree, because you pick them up and they read totally different, I feel. But there's a lot of aspects of the Batman that remains the same, which is really cool through both of them. Like, there's a lot of anger issues going on between both of those Batmans, from such extremes too. The sapling to the full-grown tree. It's like, holy shit, he did a full circle. Throughout his life.
Yeah, originally, when this was written, Frank Miller's come out later and retconned it, but when this was written, this was supposed to be the ending of the pre-crisis Batman.
Year one,
year one was the origin of the post-crisis on Infinite Earths Batman, because year one was told in, I think it was Batman 404 to 407.
So you're saying the stories they're stories of Batman, but they're from two different multiverses or something? Like two different outcomes of one multiverse or one universe?
Well, it's just Dark Knight Returns was the canon ending of the pre-crisis on Infinite Earths Batman. Similar to Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow by Alan Moore for Superman. That was the end of the pre-crisis characters.
That's cool. I haven't read that, and I'll be picking that up, so we can read that.
But. And then year one was going to be the canon origin of post-crisis Batman, which is why it was in the main series.
Well,
but then Frank Miller's come out later on and gone, year one's the beginning of my story, Dark Knight Returns is the end of my story. They happen in the same canon.
I like that. I like that he Star Wars did. You know what I'm saying? Like if he was saying like he's as crazy as George Lucas, dude. What the fuck? But I like it in my head canon. You know what I mean? Like for me to accept that his universe, do I believe that his year one Batman story could end up going through this? What an amazing story! Like Batman, he's just this angry motherfucker, and then one day the Justice League and that all forms, and he meets the Man of Steel. He becomes Justice, and then all of a sudden the government wants to get involved, fuck everything up. Superman took the plea deal for everyone, but Batman sees that as like some kind of like wrongdoing on behalf of the superhero community. You know what I mean? And it's like I could totally see that world happening.
I've got an idea of where this sort of falls into my headcanon, but I'll mention that later on when we're sort of discussing the story a bit.
Yeah, it's cool though. So he's definitely, I have to say, he didn't do the art in year one, did he?
No, that was David Mazzucchelli.
And he did the art. He did the art in this.
Yeah, Frank Miller did the art in this.
Whack. It fits the story. That's fine. Whatever. But whack. Like, holy hell. Like, I'm not used to it at all. You know what I mean? So seeing it again is just, I don't know.
Yeah, when I started reading this, I forgot how dense it was. It is a long read.
It is a lot.
Oh, lot of words. But you know what?
We were going to record the episode last week, but like me and Dave were like, "Oh, I've only just finished issue 2."
Yeah, it was
like same.
Yeah.
Really, that's impressive to me. I powered through this in like a single night.
Fuck. No, I'm like dead-eyed. I'm like, no way. I read at night too. Reading at night for me doesn't help. Reading at night puts me to sleep. Some people can like my wife, she can read till like 4 a.m. in the morning. For some reason, that doesn't put her to sleep. I don't know. It's just like...
Could be a good book.
Yeah. or somebody else does all the lifting in the family. No, I'm just fucking with it. I'm fucking with you. But
No, it wasn't a complaint about the story because it's very well told, and it's a very hyper compressed story. Every page is full of action and story.
Graphic novel, you know what I mean? Like, it's just dense. It's dense.
Yeah.
There's I really like the paneling, even though sometimes it goes like, what is it? Sometimes it's like 15, like, or it's like, how many boxes does he fit? It's like 5 by 5, 5 by 7 or something. He'll
Yeah,
just go
and
straight down.
you've got like a news report,
weird different
windows
ways,
as well.
yeah, to read it. There's different, like, really, really sweet. I think it's old. I think it fits the story. I don't like it. I wouldn't want it in my modern day comics unless a story demanded it in some fashion. I think.
I mean,
wait. Let me get my thought out real quick. The Mr. Miracle, that did that, didn't it? Didn't it panel out a bunch of
9-panel grid?
Yes,
that was cool. I just thought it was cool for the story.
So the reason why that was done is because this was a artistic style paneling format that was set by Miller and Moore. Actually, they popularized this. This kind of traditional means of paneling was something that you would actually see in a lot of the Silver Age of comic books, but they popularized it and cut it into the 1980s. And a lot of people have tried to copy this moving forward. Tom King kind of did this, but his is more like 3 by 3, so it's 9 panels on a single page.
Yeah.
To lay out the story. The other thing is that Tom King's is very, I'm going to look at the camera and then tell something. This is a little bit different from that because there's a lot more going on. I mean, within the first page, there's all of these different fire scenes, and then you get the television, and then you get to see Gotham. I mean, there's a lot going on, but I don't know. My favorite thing about this is honestly the television, the way the news is being told about this.
Yeah.
The way it breaks into it, and
there's nothing out there that has done that. This should be, in my opinion, how the news is done all the time.
The way the news is structured through this is incredible, and like it must have been a bitch to write because
I want to give it. Can I give a shout?
The way it transitions from.
None of you have read Spawn, right? Like none of you have read any.
I have.
Okay. Spawn does. If there's one thing he did do good, it's not the same layout of news, but he had another really cool outlook on the news where he would have like, I'm just gonna make up the names because I can't remember them in the story, but it was like I don't even know news channels. CNN? That's libertarian, right? Or that's Democratic, right? That's Democratic, right?
Sure.
Yeah,
but that's accurate. Yeah.
And then Fox. All right, so they would have like 3 different ones, and it would be like a MSNBC at the top or something, and then it would be like Fox News, and then it'd be like fucking Entertainment News, and they would all tell the same story, but they would tell it slightly different. They'd be like,
sure,
in the news this, and then one guy would be a conspiracy theorist. In the news this happened, and then the next person would be like, in the news this happened with this, and that, you know what I mean? It was like funny, like so they paneled out news.
I see what you're saying.
Foil hat.
It was different than this, but it was a cool way to look at the news because it gave you three different words, all different from the same story, and it would
sure. Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think that's a really good way of looking at it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Frank Miller did a really. I think Miller did a really good job of doing that in Daredevil, Man Without Fear. There was definitely plenty of sequences where he had the news. Look, here's the thing. Frank Miller
does the origin story. Is that the origin story of Daredevil?
No, I think it's a little bit later. It's a little bit post Elektra.
I never read it, but that's cool.
There wasn't the miniseries with Romita called Man Without Fear.
Well, yeah, but the original series was also called Daredevil, The Man Without Fear. Oh, but you're thinking, the John Romita Jr. one was called either just The Man Without Fear or something like that, but I can't remember. That was such a weird thing, but they kind of did the same thing there. I'm frustrated because I feel like Frank Miller did such a better job with Batman in this one than he did with Daredevil in that one, but his Daredevil run, I think, might have been honestly better than Batman Year One.
Interesting.
Look, the only reason I say that is just because of Born Again. Have you ever read Born Again?
I have not.
Mm-mm. We're going to do an episode about that in the future. We need to, because I'm not going to say a single thing. You guys are going to be blown away. I promise. Craven, what about you? Have you read that?
I don't think so.
Okay. I had no idea what it was going into it. First page, shivers. I still have that when I read a lot of Frank Miller's work. Look, did I tell you what my girlfriend got me for Christmas?
I don't think so.
A signed fucking volume of Sin City from a 1990s release party.
Huh. Like a trade paperback volume?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Oh yeah. The omnibus.
It's like one of those rare ones.
They make an omnibus of that story. It's called like The Big Damn Sin City or something. It's like this huge.
Oh
book.
Yeah.
Man. That's cool. You say that's cool. You say that Frank Miller from like page 1 gets you, because that's how I feel about him. I read like the first page and I was like, what? Like the first story with him like coming through the wall and like, or coming from under the ground and like grabbing the dude's foot, and like the people were funny, like the villains were funny.
You liked that because that was the Batman vs Superman scene.
No,
you literally posted that on his Instagram.
No, that's true. No, that's true. But my bat is scary. I like the scary. I'm all about like almost Batman could be a horror story if you wanted to tell it. You'd have to do it in taste, in good taste. So like no, but like in the very first beginning, like even before I posted the scene where he busted through a different wall and he grabbed the dude. There's a scene in the beginning. Oh no, I did post that too. Yeah, he's like from the you posted it with the
video clip as well.
No, not that one. There's one where he's like, "Welcome to hell." He like grabs from the floorboards, and the people are like talking, and they're like, "Whoa!" They're like, "He used to be quieter." And even Batman's like monologuing in his head saying like, man, I slipped up. I'm getting lazy. You know what I mean?
I really like the inner monologue in this book where he was like, too slow, old man.
Yeah, and he's seeking a grand death. He's like, oh, that would be a good death, but not a grand death. And then like later on, he's like, that would be a lousy death because he like slipped and fell and almost fucking died. There's so many times he's like, lucky old man. I'm like,
yeah, absolutely.
Cool bat. He's a cool bat.
Can I just
go back to the...
Go for it.
Yeah. I was going to say, going back to the news reporting quickly, there was a scene that really made me laugh in the second issue, which is it's a woman on a train and she's got a paint set for her son.
Yes.
It's telling this really depressing story through the narration. And then she gets attacked by the mutants and they drop a grenade in her bag.
Yeah.
And it's just the way the story's told. Because for the second last panel is she feels something heavy and round like an apple in her purse, and then it cuts to news and it's like woman explodes in subway station.
Dude,
stay tuned at 11.
That was crazy.
And it was so dark, but I laughed.
Yeah. It's just that level of like cheek that you just have to like appreciate it. That's so good. Yeah. Okay. So the sequence where Bruce is cheersing Gordon, I really just want to make this note really quick. Something that I love that Zack Snyder did in his films with Batman.
That's in like the first issue, right? When it's like
yes,
this is like 5 pages in. Something.
I hate that Joss Whedon did this, and I do not forgive him for this. I hate that he made Bruce pour a drink of whiskey with Wonder Woman because he's a fucking teetotaler. He's been a teetotaler forever,
right.
And this is recognized here. Go ahead.
But in Batman vs Superman, Alfred says to Bruce something about he's emptying the family wine cellar. I can't remember the exact line, but Alfred says to him, like, oh, I was hoping the next generations of Wayne would have more than an empty wine cellar to look forward to.
Yeah, but I think that's because like he emptied it out, didn't he? Not because he was drinking it.
Oh, I took it to mean he was drinking it.
I don't know.
Okay, yeah, no.
I could be wrong. I haven't watched a movie since like 2017, so...
I'm actually really happy you brought up the whole Batman versus Superman thing, because the sequence where actually the majority of that portrayal of Ben Affleck as this Bruce Wayne, I actually really like. I just don't agree with the choice to make that be that in-universe Batman for that time. That should have been something for later on. I totally dig this universe. I recognize that this is like its own story. I don't really mind what Zack Snyder did with that for that portrayal, but I just don't think it's weird to me that he wanted to jump so far ahead to bring that to the now for what was going on with Justice League. I guess I just didn't understand what some of that choice was, because this seems to me like the third or fourth movie you're going to have of Batman in it, you know?
This still isn't a type of Batman I want to see in the movie. Like, I like it in this story, but I like Batman having his family more. I want a happy Batman who is surrounded by his supporting cast.
That would be cool. That would be, but I wonder like how you get that, because I don't think we're gonna get that with Pattinson either, to be honest with you. Maybe. I I don't know. I think you're going to end up, if anything. So they're bringing in.
But that's going to be more of a year 1 story, though. Well,
I think,
year 2 story.
But I'm saying it is a trilogy, isn't it? Like it is.
Yeah.
Are you saying the whole trilogy is a year 1 story?
No, I just mean the vibe I get from it. It's gonna. Yeah, it starts in year 2.
No, whatever. Yeah. Are you saying the whole trilogy is going to be a year 2 story?
I mean, it's not going to be him. We might get Dick Grayson introduced. We might.
Oh, I think we definitely are.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely getting introduced.
I'm hoping we don't get a cynical, jaded Batman.
They just didn't show anything because they don't have any fucking footage to show. Just like they don't have any footage to show for Dune, and that kid is in Dune too, and that the same kid who's playing.
Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, he's in Dune, and both those movies. It's amazing, dude. I have to say, for that Batman trailer only had like 20 minutes of footage shot when they did that trailer. Holy shit! What they crafted with 20 minutes is fucking. That was insane. Yeah, I can't believe they crafted that with. Yeah, no, he said when it was all said and done, and then like weeks later, it was like, I think it was right when they got shut down again. That's what they said, like that's what they were working with at the time to make that trailer. 20 minutes of footage.
Okay. I thought I had heard some fraction, like, half or quarter or somewhere in between there.
Yeah.
Like 20 minutes sounds kind of short for even a quarter.
I think that was I think that's what they were trying to say in the I think it ended up being that they had nothing. You know what I mean? That they really, and that's why, look, the movie got delayed to like 2022, not even 2021 October or something. It's like 2022.
Yeah.
So it's
so many movies at this point are being delayed because of COVID. It's insane.
Yeah.
This kind of ties back to what I was saying before about there not being very many good, actually actually good Batman movies, is because nobody wants to bring it.
Episode on this back on the channel. We did an episode on Ty's opinion on Batman movies.
Backstory. This is kind of like what I'm talking about. Like once you have a portrayal of Batman or a portrayal of his villain types, that doesn't necessarily reflect the Batman comics or universe. I mean, a good example is that Danny DeVito, like Penguin, right? Like just because like you have the characteristics of it doesn't necessarily mean it's the actual thing of it. I agree with what you're both saying. I think that, having the family in hand, Dick Grayson, is one of the big things that will make it a good Batman film. I don't understand why people are so opposed to Robins.
No. I think Sean isn't. No, hold on. Sean is saying that he wants a happy Bat, and I don't think you're getting a happy Bat with the Pattinson story. Dick Grayson's going to get introduced. He's not going to die or anything, but I guarantee you that they showed Dick Grayson walking off of the story.
I think I misspoke when I said a happy Batman. I don't necessarily mean a happy Batman, but I mean a...
Hi guys, I'm Batman.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about, getting a Batman.
Adam West is my Batman.
Getting a collaborative Batman. You're looking for the A-team family on screen. That's what you. I just mean you want the Shazam family in the back, like you want the Shazam-ly. Yeah, you want the Shazam.
Okay, I want a supporting cast.
Yeah. But I'm saying, but what I was saying with the Pattinson one, I don't think you're actually going to get a supporting cast. I think Dick Grayson's probably going to peace out.
It might lead there.
Maybe.
I agree.
I think Dick's going to be like
part of the team, but they'll probably exist somewhere in the movie.
Yeah, because my big problem on that Dark Knight trilogy episode we did was
I bet you even Barbara.
It didn't introduce Dick Grayson.
You don't think Barbara is going to be in this at all? Like, I bet you Barbara's in this fucking story. I bet you she's in the story, dude. I bet you she's in the story. $5. For what is that? What's that? How many pounds is that? 4.2
about
pounds?
£4 something.
Yeah, all right. $5.
I'll take that bet. $5.
She's in. Okay. She's in it. She shows up in the movie. It would be... Okay. I'm interested. Cool. Virtual shake.
Look.
Cool.
do you guys remember Batman Forever and Batman and Robin when they introduced Chris O'Donnell as Batman or Robin, and
Alicia Silverstone.
Oh, they had that dope neon fight scene where he was like fighting all like the ravers. Yeah, that was cool shit.
Yes, dude. That's okay. So as cheesy as that shit was, and as trash as some of that shit was, which they were all just about selling toys, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
I still loved how cheesy it was because I mean, I acknowledge that it's a comic book thing. Like, I want Robin.
DC release the Schumacher cuts.
Oh God, no!
The nipple cut.
Dude, have you seen them? You know what? I'm getting off topic. My bad. Okay, we're gonna get back to it. Sorry.
Well,
this version of Batman, or the place this book has, like the way it is in my head canon, is this is Batman's future if he never met Tim Drake.
Mm-hmm.
This definitely feels like an Elseworld like tale.
This follows right on from the death of Jason Todd.
We still have like Nazis with like nipple swastikas and stuff. Real like gritty shit. It feels like an alternate universe. Like,
but after Jason Todd died, Batman went on a dark streak. He was beating criminals to a pulp. He went dark, and it was Tim Drake that came in and pulled him out of that darkness.
Yeah,
This story to me is, what if Batman was never pulled out of that darkness?
Yeah.
I agree with that.
That's cool.
I mean, this is definitely an alternate universe.
Whatever helps you whatever helps anybody get past the fact that Batman isn't the Lord of Justice in this story. I mean, don't get me wrong. In his head, he's the Lord of Justice. Like,
that's just how I picture this character in my head.
I can see
because
that's cool.
Because this isn't my Batman. So I'm like, this is him. Yeah.
Well, he's super gray. He's walking lines that aren't. Yeah, true.
Let me ask you this: what about Curse of the White Knight? What about that? Like all of these different portrayals of Batman. What do you think?
I didn't get to read it yet. It's in the mail. It's been in the mail for like 2 fucking months.
You haven't read that one yet?
No, I've been waiting 2 fucking months.
My God.
Dude, pissing me off, man.
Curse of White Knight is incredible. It's still not my Batman, but it's so good.
I love the White Knight universe, so...
Okay.
Oh, Ty's pulling something out. He's pulling out an issue for us.
I like, anytime Batman beats people... anytime Batman beats people to a point where, like, the public questions his fucking morality, I like that, because it creates, like, conflict within, like, the story.
They need a J. Jonah Jameson to go, he's a menace.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, he's a menace. Yeah. Well, what's her name? Vicky? What's her?
Just to interrupt quickly, some exciting news from the UK. Prime Minister Boris Johnson is now self-isolating after coming into contact with someone who tested positive for COVID.
Oh my God! He gets it again.
Protect. He's got to protect himself. Yeah.
So it's actually interesting that you mentioned that because do you remember when this came out?
Yes, I have that.
Yep. Okay. What did you think of that? Because I feel like that ties into what we're talking about right now. Because if you remember in the sequence for this, there's a part where he pulls out the Batmobile and it's a tank, and he's talking about like his relationship with Robin and like how he called it a mobile and like the kind of punny.
Wait.
Yeah, you remember?
Yeah, he's like Bat Robin always called it the Batmobile or something.
Yeah, he mentions it in. Wait, did you say Jason said that in Last Crusade?
I'm gonna be honest with you.
I just said Robin.
Is that like, what issue did you just grab? Is that
one shot?
It's The Dark Knight Returns, The Last Crusade by Frank Miller and Brian Azzarello with John Romita Jr.
And it's the best art Romita Jr.'s done in years.
That's a one shot that came out during DK3, right?
That just validated my whole fucking point. Dude, Sean, remember when I said that it was last week, I said like Azzarello is the closest thing to Frank Miller to his Batman. He worked with him on this story, you're saying, Ty?
Yeah, he also did Dark Knight 3 with him.
Yeah.
I'm definitely picking up the Master Race now, the Absolute. I love that Batman, and I love Azzarello's Batman. He's so fucking mean. He's so brute. He's like this guy who can get stabbed in the chest, and he's just like, I don't know, he's dope. Like, I don't know, I can understand.
I didn't realize Azzarello co-wrote the Last Crusade one shot. I thought it was just
he also co-wrote the Master Race.
That's exactly.
I knew he did Master Race, but I thought Last Crusade was just Miller.
I knew all the webs were there and the strings. Okay. So it's crazy.
In specific, what you're talking about, and I mean Frank Miller did work on this, so we know that this is true. There's a sequence where Robin's putting on his mask, walks through the door that he's trying to pick through, and he gets barreled down by a bunch of henchmen.
You said, "Hey." Isn't it a girl? Is this
no? This is previous Robin.
Oh, gotcha. This
is what led to Batman retiring. This is the death of Jason Todd in the Dark Knight Returns universe.
This is like, how would you put it? This is basically the sequence of what happened with Starlin's death of Jason Todd in this universe, but his interpretation of it. It's called The Dark Knight Returns: The Last Crusade.
And it's the best thing Frank Miller's written in years.
What the fuck? Who's hiding? Who's hiding? Why people's hiding shit from me?
Oh, I didn't check that out.
Ooh,
Oh yeah, I have that.
Okay, so here's the thing. When I'm looking at Frank Miller's
Azzarello, dude,
work, right? Like, I'll look at this and I'll obviously say, yes, this is gold. I'm not going to say that there's anything about this that I would say is bad. Still, like when I look back at on this day, the sequel, trash. Don't like it at all. But even
Strikes Again,
I really liked. I hate the sequel. I hate Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah. No one.
What's
no
Dark
one
Knight
likes
Returns?
It. No
2?
one has anything
what is
positive
that?
about it.
What is Dark
Strikes
Knight?
Again?
So Strikes Again is 2.
Yeah, it was released in 2001.
Then there's another one called Master Race.
Yeah, I think so. 3. Yeah, because 9/11 happened halfway through.
Then there's one that
Master
says
Race is 3.
Yeah. Okay, so they don't.
Master Race was fine. I wouldn't say it was great. I would say it was fine. It was a solid story.
All right,
we got another 15 years to the next series.
Dude, I'm fucking getting this one though. The Last Crusade, Azzarello. Are you kidding me, man?
It's a really cool issue.
It's a really good run. I would say it's a little long. It's 9 issues. I mean, to give you context, this is all the issues.
I think
it's thick too.
What, the Master Race?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Can we talk about the Master Race? Because
have we talked about it?
No, I mean can we? Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna pick up
spoilers for Dark Knight 3 Master Race.
Yeah, because they have the Batman Superman fight in Dark Knight 3 again, don't they? Am I remembering that correctly?
Dude,
kind of.
Yeah, it almost seems like a rehash.
This is a weird thing
of the Dark Knight.
Yeah, this is also another one of those universes where they have made Superman in a relationship with Wonder Woman at some point, and they produce a child.
What kind of child did they make?
Fucking God.
Really? Dope.
Yeah, she's a badass.
That's sick. Oh, it's a girl.
I don't know why I found that question so funny. Child. What kind of child did they make?
Wait, that's why you gotta read the Golden Child tie-in.
No, wait, real quick. The Golden Child, that just came out, or that just got released on like a hardcover. Did that, wait, are you telling me that the chick on the cover is the child? Like of the
chick right here, that is the, she is the
who's the other one? Who's the one behind? Who's the one behind?
I'm not going to say anything because neither of you guys have read. Actually, Craven, have you read it?
I was just wondering.
Yeah.
I was just wondering.
So I'm going to tell you this right now. This is one of my favorite things that I've read as a sort of like a single issue. Really? Frank Miller is very. I don't know what happened, but he woke up and he came back to life.
Really? Yeah. I was real hesitant.
So you've got that almost Supergirl.
What's it called? The Golden Child?
Mm-hmm. Are you buying it right now?
Well, I'm adding it to a list.
What's her name? Zora?
I think it is. Yeah, it's a weird name.
But all of DK3, you've got Wonder Woman running around, kicking ass, and she's just got this tiny little baby just strapped to her back.
Oh yeah.
The Golden Child.
I know what you're talking about.
The Golden Child's just one. It's just one.
Yeah, it's a one shot. It's a thick issue.
One. Okay.
Yeah, it is. It's a thick boy.
Thick boy.
It's a thick boy. Damn, boy! That's a thick ass boy!
Give me one sec.
No worries.
Woof, woof.
I don't know. I guess the thing I'm trying to say is that, like, when it comes to the Dark Knight Returns in this universe, it's very much I'm looking at the whole package, right? Like, I want to shit all over the sequel, Dark Knight Strikes Again, but I also acknowledge that there's so much that's come out of this that as a whole, this universe has become one of my favorite Elseworlds stories for Batman over time. I agree with what you've said, Sean, that this doesn't have to be like our Batman. This doesn't have to be the Batman that we go to every single time. But I really like this portrayal, not just because it's a hardened Batman, but because it's a hardened Batman who, at the end of everything, understands that he needs to make a change way later in life than he should and wants to be more than just a man in a bat suit. He wants to be something that continues on. And I think that's something that is acknowledged further on in the series as it continues.
Yeah.
I have two complaints about this series with Dark Knight Returns.
Of course you do.
Because I'm the negative Englishman who hates his life. I hate joy and happiness. Number one, my complaint is this book reinvented the comic industry. It reinvented the comic genre, but I feel like it ruined. I feel like it ruined Batman in the process.
Ooh, you're wrong.
It gave everyone this impression that Batman has to be this grumpy man who's on this solo mission alone, and I feel like it ruined the public's perception of Batman.
Could I come from a different angle? I feel like fucking Christian Bale, his Batman, white knighted Batman, and now that everybody in the mainstream normies all think that Batman is this fucking justice-filled ninny, and it's like there's no fucking I don't know, like they all say like Batman. Dude, it's pretty. I'm just gonna say, like, I understand not liking the Snyder films, like totally, and I understand not liking Angry Batman too, but there's like a difference between accepting that, like you've done, Sean. Like, it's a good story. It's a different story. It's in a different universe. So when I look at Snyder films, I look at the same thing. I say it's a different story. It's in a different universe. It's a different setting. It's not that perfect one. It definitely isn't. It's one where the world is grim, and so anyway.
It's more that I feel like it altered the public perception of Batman.
And I'm saying that I feel like The Dark Knight did that shit to Batman, where now when people go and watch and they don't understand that Batman, he's got this dark side to him. So I'm almost on the flippity flop.
About,
when
Ty was talking just now about The Dark Knight, I was thinking about the Christian Bale Batman. Because he's talking about, becoming more than, becoming an idea more than just a man.
Right.
Leaving a legacy. That's what they get into a bit in the third film.
It's always about the legacy, bro. It's always about the legacy.
That was my big complaint in the Dark Knight episode, which was it spent so much time addressing his legacy, but we didn't get Dick Grayson.
Right.
That's kind of what I'm talking about, yeah.
Right.
So...
I have a second
It's
complaint.
funny that you feel that way, though, Sean. I think that was interesting, though, because I'm coming from that other side, saying like, and I hear what you're saying. Like, yeah, there is a large community. It's funny, we're like split, like the Star Wars community. But I'm over here saying, I know. Hey, Dwight Schrute. I can quote Dwight Schrute perfectly. I know how to sit on a fence. It's the trick is face down with your mouth over the post. Like, I'm just saying, I like both Batmans. As long as the story dictates it, I'm cool with the grimace and the angry and the one like the animated Batman, like Kevin Conroy, like the way he portrays Batman sometimes is so like justice, man. It's just cool. I'm down with that too. To have a family is cool too. So interesting. There's so many different sides to Batman. I think that maybe that's why his story can keep getting told.
Batman is like an onion.
Layers. Fucking.
What was your second complaint?
I don't like Carrie Kelly. I feel she's a weak character. Yep. I feel like
Sean just doesn't get her lingo, like her cool hip young lingo.
Yeah, other than that, if there's a page where she is straight up not speaking English, it's random words put together.
She's not
in a sentence.
The Queen's English.
Ooh, listen here, Ace. You're gonna.
I feel like she doesn't get any character progression in this. She's there to be the Robin, and she puts on the suit that she bought at a costume store, and then she's out doing backflips on the roof.
I haven't read anything. I haven't read anything else, but just from reading this story and only this one. I feel that like she was only there so Bruce could go like this. He could wake up from like shell shock. He could wake up and be like, Robin, you're back. And, come with me.
And
boy.
Also, we see her parents in one panel, and they're high, and they're like, "Wait, don't we have a daughter?" That's the only time we see her parents.
That actually, I'm happy you brought up, because there is this very specific reason for that. Much in the same reason why Miller had Ronald Reagan in this. He absolutely hates the hypocrisy of so many of America, specifically during this time period. Let's think about what year was this released?
1986, I think.
Ooh,
so let's think about what was 20 years before that. What were the kids doing 20 years before that in 1966 in America?
Smoking.
They were fucking dope smoking hippies. And what happened to that afterwards? Those dope smoking hippies produced children who ended up becoming hyper conservative, neo-fascists eventually in America. The 1980s developed Reaganism, trickle-down economics. It ruined the gold standard in America. It caused a economic collapse.
Are you saying are you saying you don't like Reagan?
Yes.
No, I don't like him either. Dude, that guy, he is quite the man, quite the actor. They should give him an Oscar for how good he did at acting as the president.
And not the president.
Yeah,
exactly.
you know.
So the thing is like, it's not just that he's like, oh, they're smoking. Like, it's that he's looking at the outlines of what develops these kinds of children in a world where crime is rampant. It's also the same time frame where he got assaulted in New York and he developed his Daredevil story. He recognizes that crime was at absolute high during this peak in America, but the economy was amazing. So everybody assumed that was like the thing. Meanwhile, all of the people who were like, free love, man, and smoking dope produced kids that really just did nothing. And they did nothing to help make America much better. Those same people are now the super liberals who are boomers and really did nothing to help take care of the environment or anything. So it's not just a criticism about Reaganism. It's about the world around Reaganism as well. He's even said...
He really screwed up Reagan's face. His face all screwed up in the drawing.
God, I love
like he
that
was
portrayal.
Like, I don't know. I could tell. I could slightly tell it was Reagan.
This is also before the term limits were really set. So when they were doing this, they were assuming that he was just going to keep being president for 40 more years. So yeah, he's hella old at this point.
Holy shit.
Behind there too. Like he's, I mean,
that's why I love this.
Yeah, there's more spoilers for DK2 or Dark Knight 2.
Spoiler alert for the dumpster fire that is Dark Knight Strikes Again.
Well, we don't have to.
No, go for it.
But I mean, like, isn't if I remember correctly, isn't Brainiac controlling him from behind the scenes? Like, he's not exactly Reagan. He's more of like an AI that's
but that's funny. That's funny because he's just calling him a puppet, and that's what Reagan is. Reagan's a puppet. He's a little.
There's so many rumors about Reagan. It's really funny.
It's just funny that he would say, I get so Brainiac's controlling him, but I still think that's like a slap in the face to Reagan, because then it's like calling his ass a puppet, it's a little.
Oh, it is, but there was also a lot of people who believed that, that he was just this sock puppet that people were using to control America.
He definitely was.
That was one of them. I don't know. I don't think it's that complicated. I think that he was just a dumb president.
What about I'm
talking just in the
story.
Dark Knight.
Yeah.
No, I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying that was a criticism that was going on during the time.
Did the Brainiac thing made me think of something, but now it's gone to the bottom.
That's okay. Take your time.
I've got another smaller complaint about this book.
Oh my god! Is it raining over there? What is it? What's got your ninnies?
Yeah, I had to walk into work earlier and it was raining, so I haven't recovered from that.
Go ahead.
That ruined my day right at the beginning. Bruce keeps calling Dick, Jason, and Carrie good soldiers, and I don't like that.
Yeah, his mind's twisted at this point.
Yeah, I don't like him calling them soldiers. I don't like them being parts of his war. Even though they are, I don't know.
It's more fucked up that he recognizes it openly instead of tries to hide. So it's more fucked up that he doesn't try to hide that fact and that he just comes out. And
they aren't his partners. They're his pawns.
Honestly, he grabs her pretty quick and throws her into the fucking. My biggest. Okay, if I had a criticism,
he's like, she's wearing pixie shorts. She's mine.
I've never
go take bullets for me.
I've never read the rest of the stories, but if I was just gonna base her character off this story alone, she's not that she's the worst part of it, just some executions of her and involved in the story are not my favorite. It feels super rushed. I get the fact that Bruce is having nostalgia over it. I get those things, you know what I mean? But still, you think it goes a little far. It goes a little far. She's sitting in a tank while Superman fucks it up and shit or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like she's doing the job Tim Drake did, but in a worse way, because there's no character growth there.
I mean, I can see why you say that. I think the thing to recognize, and this is just me playing the devil's advocate here, is that this is very much recognizing the comic booky elements of this superhero universe, right? It's when you look at Robin, I mean, all that happened is that his parents died, and he was just like, "Oh, me too. I take you in," and like that's it.
Don't break it. Don't say it that hard. That's so. There's no heart involved. That's not how it happened.
I'm sorry.
Batman. Bruce saw an opportunity to make sure that he got the justice. You know, don't break him down.
If you want to really break it down into like this really oversimplified thing, it's just like my parents.
He's like, "Hey, your parents are dead too."
Fuck. Oh my god. That's like a meme.
And that's it. And I'm sorry. That was so mean. I'm so sorry.
My Batman.
I'm just
to all the orphans listening, we're sorry.
Yeah.
That's every orphan out there. Trigger warning. No, I think you're right. I think that is a valid criticism, but I think that this is also a universe where a guy is jumping on top of cars without breaking his shins, and he's a 60-year-old man and is able to punch through windshields.
Yeah,
he's 56.
It just seems like, and I even get like her like all right, so like on the news the Batman was sighted, you know, in the very beginning, like the Batman was just like sighted, so she just kind of put on her little gown and shit and decided to fucking see if she could find him. I get that was all well and good, just some of the progression and the way the story went out with the two, I was kind of like, I don't know if a Robin was needed if this was a standalone story. I haven't read the rest, so I don't know if she's super needed in the future, you know. She is kind of weird though. I don't know. She is kind of weird.
She played a bigger role in.
Let's consider
Dark
this
Knight
as well. I mean,
even though Sean doesn't like it.
Yeah. How do you feel about the second one, Crave? Do you feel like it's like a pile of poo, a steaming pile of poo? Or do you think
I don't hate it as much as Sean does.
Is it your weakest? Is it the weakest you've read?
It's the weakest, sure, but I don't think it's terrible.
Do I have to read it to read the third one?
I would recommend reading a Wikipedia summary of the plot and then just jumping straight into 3.
That's fair. Yeah, that's cool.
So it's frustrating for me because
my so, not your so. Your so. You go ahead.
There's actually a lot of cool things about Dark Knight Strikes Again that I actually really enjoyed, but I feel like the artistic integrity of it is kind of
the art hurts to look at.
Yeah, I think it fits. I think it fits the story. I think it is trash art. Like, not to be rude to like him, I get it for the story. I'd never want to see it again in anything else. So I don't mind it. Is that his art for the next?
No, it gets a lot worse, and the coloring
even
is
in Master Race in the third one too. He draws it.
Oh, he doesn't draw it. That's Andy Kubert.
That's not necessarily true. Andy Kubert does the main story, but Frank Miller does the backup art with Klaus Janson, who did the artwork for the one-shot issue of Mr. Freeze, Curse of the Light Knight, which was fantastic, by the way.
Oh yeah,
I have the variant, and that they were really good. That was a good story.
Maybe he just sucks at color because Sin City's all black and white.
It's Lynn Varley who did the colors, and she did colors for Dark Knight Returns and Strikes Again.
No, you can't. She did the colors for this book. You're saying?
Yeah, and she did the colors for Strikes Again as well.
You can't fault her for having to work with this garbage, this fucking whack job.
I don't know. How do you feel about the art for Sin City?
I have to take a look at it. I never read the story.
Sin City is still
very stylized.
Very
stylized.
Yeah, it is.
Sin City,
and I feel like it works there better when it's not like part of the problem with Dark Knight Strikes Again is it's got all these horrible Photoshop colors that don't look good.
Dude, come on. Sin City looks amazing.
Yeah, I'm not criticizing.
That's cool as shit.
The cool thing with Dark Knight 3 is that inside of the actual issues themselves, outside of the actual book, which by the way they didn't do square binding at this point, so take it with a grain of salt.
They start the issue with
the little
mini
book
the
inside
art
of
it. The art on the Atom issue was Frank Miller's best work I've seen in a while.
I would agree with that.
They look like people. Like, I think it's quite good.
As opposed to not.
Dude, I'm not even gonna lie to you.
But then you look at the Batgirl one and the Green Lantern one. It's not good.
The first couple pages of the Dark Knight, I couldn't even tell you what the fuck was going on. Hold on, let me pull it back up. Yeah, it's a car crash. I can't even see what's crashing though in the panels. Like, yeah, I just assumed it was. Is it a car crash? Right, that's what happens.
Yeah.
I can't even fucking see it, man. I'll be honest with you. I can't discern the panels. I just I saw a wheel fly off maybe, or it's still connected. It's just like, and then like he's burning up at the very bottom panel of the first page or something with flames on him. I'm just like, I don't know. That was not that very first page. It took me a while because I was trying to decipher the fucking art, and then I realized it was a car crash and just kept. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. Now let me continue the story, and then I got instantly grabbed.
I have been negative enough. I would like to give the series some praise. Issue 1 is a masterpiece in storytelling.
When I wrote this is a masterpiece, it was when I was reading issue 1. It was dope.
Yeah, like we've got the scene where he comes back and he's all from the shadows. He's taking them down without you seeing him. And it's so good. And then at the end where we see the news reporting he's back and we just see the Joker, who's like this broken old man in a mental asylum. And he sees Batman on the news and he just smiles. And
I think
it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
I think
and the whole issue itself is just incredibly told. The pacing, the art is incredible in the first issue.
Yeah, it's a good. It makes you feel like he's back. I feel like just as it makes the people of Gotham make like they're like.
And I like the end where we see Harvey, who's got a normal face.
Yeah.
But then we see there's a page where we see what he sees, and it's just
still
the burnt face on both sides.
Yeah.
And then we see the camera cuts to Batman, and we see him as like this burning monster of rage,
right?
With like a bat face.
That was dope.
And yeah,
that's dope.
Most of my problems come with the later issues, but the last issue where we see the Batman Superman fight is that fight is incredible.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I want to point something out really quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So earlier, Sean had mentioned that he feels like this kind of like set a standard for Batman later on. There is some clarification that should be mentioned here. Prior to Frank Miller's work on this, all of the stuff that was coming out was
Denny O'Neil.
It's not just that. It's that a lot of the stuff was very much like gimmicky because of things like the Adam West
Batman stuff. You're talking about just Batman stuff.
Yeah. So like prior to year 1, for example,
he had already started to become. Wait, sorry, carry on.
Well, I was just going to say that. I mean, really, Frank Miller is the reason why they brought back the dark stuff with it. Because originally he was a dark character. I mean, his first appearance,
I wanted to
shot somebody.
He
say something about that too.
He had been dark for the last decade, not as dark, but he had been dark for the last decade before Frank Miller took over because of Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams, and also I'm trying to find the creative team now, but I can't find it.
But that's actually what I was going to point out.
There was a team that had a Detective Comics run in the late 70s, early 80s, and I can't think of the name of them at the minute.
I thought I was going to be able to pull out my Neil Adams stuff, but I can't find it. Oh well. Anyways, the thing I was going to say was that a lot of the influence of the Adam West show ended up being a big reason why people weren't taking it very seriously. I mean, even Neil Adams said, as much as they wanted some of the action sequences and everything, I mean, they wanted to have that camp. And Neil Adams had some stuff with like Ra's al Ghul, for example, that was a lot darker, but that feeling of kind of camp was still very prominent. Frank Miller came in and he's like, fuck that. He's Batman. He punches trees and they fall down. Like, that's what he did.
So I think we should. How do you guys ever confuse Alan Moore and Frank Miller?
No.
I like that you ask that because no, I don't confuse them, but I definitely, when I read this, there were so many lines in this story where I looked at it and said, holy shit, these dudes were on par with each other. That they were saying, like, the way like Dr. Manhattan like poses himself as saying like he's like, it's 1981, Wally dies of cancer. Like the way he says things like that. I mean, there's a scene in the story where he's just like, my father dies for the 100th, I watch my father die for the 100,000th time or something.
So
it's crazy.
Dark Knight came out February to June of 86. Watchmen started September of 86 and ran through October of 87.
Yeah. I think it's funny that some of the greatest works always come out at the exact same time, and they're almost discernible to who stole
them.
Who.
Describing this at the same way that people describe Watchmen. They describe both of these comics as like redefining the entire.
Fun fact: Frank Miller lives 40 minutes. Not Frank Miller. Alan Moore lives about 40 minutes away from my house.
Yeah. Do you want to go visit him?
Go to a wizard party.
If you could get him drunk, he'll tell you the ending to that. What's that story he never finished?
Twilight of the Superheroes.
No,
there was another one. No.
Quest for Camelot?
No,
there was one he told the ending to Neil Gaiman, wasn't it?
Yeah, get him real drunk and he'll tell you the ending. Yeah, I heard that story. Like that that legend has it that Neil Gaiman's the only one who knows it. Because
I'd be scared to go to him because he'd put a curse on me.
The problem is you need to dress as a waitress looking to be seduced, and he may mistake you and tell you his earthly powers or something, or his unearthly powers.
Donnie Cates has said that. By the way, shout out to Donnie Cates. Love your work.
Donnie is dope.
Please come on the show.
He actually. Oh god, yeah. He has said that. He has said that he's gone over to Alan Moore's place, and like he's a little frustrated that like so many people have portrayed Alan Moore as like the grumpy old man in comics, like get off my lawn. But apparently, like he invited Donnie Cates over to. Actually, Donnie Cates knocked on his door and was just like, "Hi, I wrote comics," and Alan Moore was just like, "Oh, come on into my castle. I'll make you some tea," and like just started talking to him. Yes,
I think he's misconstrued. I think he's misconstrued with being real. He sees phony everywhere. He sees Stan Lee as phony.
He does have that grumpy persona about, like, when you see him talk, it's just his natural talking.
That's just him. I think you accept once you accept him as who he is, then you're like you realize that that's just how he talks. Like he's just.
Have you guys seen the clip of him on The Simpsons?
No.
Yes.
No.
Have a look and send it to the chat.
He just looks like Rob Zombie of Futures Coming.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen the guy. Yeah. He's definitely a wizard or a warlock. Like he's probably classified as a warlock.
Dude, I've got to get that. I got to get Aaron to send me that art that I'm requesting from him because I want a piece of art that's Alan Moore fighting Wizard Grant Morrison. I want it. I'm gonna send an email right now.
Wait, you sort of lagged a bit on my end. What did you say?
Me?
Yeah, I heard Aaron Carter, but I know that's not what you said.
Do you know Aaron Cooter?
No,
the artist.
Oh, Cooter.
Okay. I know what you're saying now. Yeah, I heard the rest of it. I just missed the first bit.
I'm actually messaging them right now.
His wife is the one
who's usually in charge of it.
Wait, how do I spell his name? I want to see some of his art.
Yeah, go ahead.
Kuder.
Cooter. All right, let me wrap this up real quick. This little tale, this bonus issue. Crave, I like that you bring that up about they came out around the same time, literally.
Oh yeah, I've seen this art before.
It's don't interrupt me, Sean. God damn it. So I always
as I was saying.
Yeah, I think it's ironic that some of the greatest works of art, of music, of movies, of books, of comics, you look at their dates and they're like they came out within months of each other. There's no way that they could be stolen. Their works had to be submitted 6 months prior. You know what I mean? Like, it's so crazy to me that the mind usually, the tales are told at the same time. Like, just, it's cool.
Parallel constructions.
Yeah, it's super neat.
Well, they work with each other.
And I get that. And that's probably a lot why they had the same, I'm not going to say they're, I saw when Crave asked the question, I saw you laugh, Sean. You're like, I never confused Alan Moore with Frank. I don't either, but I see a lot of similarities of their work. I see a lot.
Yeah, because they are very similar figures from the same era.
I see what they're trying to work with and the things they were trying to mold. They're definitely craftsmen of their own things, which is maybe that's why. So, this book is good.
I would just like to say one more thing.
Yeah, go on.
Batman can beat anyone with enough prep time.
All right, absolutely. There you go. You heard it here.
I'm also going to say one quick thing.
Okay, all right.
Sean is wrong.
It's not just for me that Frank Miller did this Batman. It's for me that he made this universe, and it still stands out today. It's his portrayal of Oliver Queen. It's his portrayal of Wonder Woman in the sequels. It's his portrayal of Superman consuming radiation and flying through the sky like a corpse, and then fighting Batman later after he's regenerated. It's understanding the DC universe and then molding it into a way that he thought would fit for his style of storytelling, and then still standing out to this day. In a 4-issue oversized run like that still stands out to this day, that I can still, my first exposure to this was in my school library when I was a kid. And I was very lucky that I had a cool enough librarian who was like, yeah, I want to get all these in for all the students. And I powered through that, and then I read it again, and then I read it again. And it still lasts to this day. Kevin Smith will tell anybody who watches any of his movies or listens to his podcast, go read this book. Go read this stuff. It's amazing. Most people out there are going to look at this and then say, this is my favorite portrayal of it. And that still stands out. I think that that's going to be the thing that tells the test of time with that.
Yeah, I will say, like, he did change a lot of things with the world and the characters. He made them a lot more mature, but you can tell while reading this, he does understand these characters and he does understand the DC universe.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, does that mean that he's perfect every single time? No, obviously not, because his Frank Miller Superman stuff is a little weird, but I'm still going to read the sequel.
What's the sequel? The year one?
He's coming out. Yeah, he's gonna be doing a year one, part 2 here soon.
I'll probably still check it out because the way it ended, I liked the ending. It was, there was. I think book 2 was weird, but book 3 brought me back with the suit. I liked when they met.
I mean,
when they all met.
I didn't really expect Clark Kent to go fuck a mermaid, but I mean,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was like a weird thing. I think they were just showing that he's been he traveled the world. You know what I mean? Like,
I will say, I haven't read it, but the art on issue 1 was Romita's best work, and
I really love John Kent's really cool in that story.
It was so clean.
You just shut your whore mouth at this point, because you have said like 3 different times that this is John Romita's best work in years. This is his best work in years.
No, I said that last Crusade. Last Crusade was years ago. It was 4 years ago. So, my point still stands.
I think John Romita's best work was in Kick-Ass.
That was his best work in years.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
I think that
his Kick-Ass stuff is great, but like his Superman Year 1, the issue 1 was really clean. He has a problem where he puts a lot of lines on faces.
Yeah.
And issue 1 was really clean, but then issue 2 and 3 sort of fell apart a little bit.
Does he do 3? He did 3 too? Like he did
he did all of the issues.
Oh, dude, there's a part where he draws Batman really well. Like, it's really cool, the art style he chooses for him and the way he set him up. But all right, to wrap it up real quick, I wanted to segue before I end it. 2 things: the fact that you give all those contemporary what do you call mulligans for him? Like you say, like as you guys are saying, like, it's not your world, it's not the one you wanted, but it's the one it's good for his story and all that stuff. So you're like giving him all these.
Sure.
You keep giving him you keep giving him a leg. Just take it into consideration. Oh, he already knows what I'm gonna say. He already knows what I'm gonna say. Watch Zack Snyder, and he pulled all the he literally pulled all the panels. All of the panels, they're all in the story. It's amazing. It's really cool. The guy's fantastic with his paneling. So, like, if you take a look at this guy's nasty ass artwork in this book, go watch Superman get exploded in space and just him come back. It's cool. It's just like him floating in space. You're like, damn, those are cool scenes where you're just like, fuck.
Zack Snyder needs a better script writer.
Yeah, and
he can shoot beautiful scenes.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. But like, if you're gonna, but that's what I'm trying to
Chris
even
Terrio
say
is not a good writer.
That's what I'm trying to even say for him is like appreciate his cinematography and like rewatch it just for that, because you're like, fuck. You watch it and you're like, it's cool. It's like I've never seen it done. So like when you watch Sin City, that was done by who? Who did Sin City? Directed that?
Oh, that was
Rodriguez.
It's Rodriguez. A different story, and it's a different director, and it's a guy who tried to attempt.
Actually, it was co-directed by Frank Miller.
It was
attempted to have real intense cinematics. Everybody I've ever seen try to attempt Zack Snyder falls flat in some aspect to just the beauty of the cinematography. So if you want to watch the panels get recreated in live action very well compared to his nasty artwork, then yeah, you can like watch that shit. It's cool. And,
I will just mention as well, Batman didn't kill anyone in this book.
Okay. At all. And we argued about it. We argued about it quite a bit.
Yeah, we did argue about it on the chat.
There's also a point in the story where he mentions it too later on. That he, I think it's in the third issue, where he mentions he's like monologuing in his head when he's making runs around a couple people, and he's like, haven't killed yet, not gonna start, or haven't killed yet, not gonna start now, or something he says, and I'm just like, interesting, because that goes back to that panel where he shot the guy or didn't shoot the guy or did or didn't, you know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing that we were talking about. No, absolutely, because in the Zack Snyder version of that, like, he shoots the thing and it explodes, which some would argue. Yeah,
and
I mean, you can argue that,
say, I sent this video to the chat. It's Zack Snyder giving an interview on it, and he says,
shoot him
all my friends are really big comic guys, and they were like, oh, you've got to have Batman shoot him in the head. because that's what happened in the comic, and it's like that's not what happens at all, Zach.
Right.
That's really weird.
If your friends are apparently comic fans, then they are very, very bad comic fans who can't read.
Seriously.
Can't.
They're probably CG.
Oh no, don't. No, he's the dude. That'd be the ultimate front. The Zack Snyder. Oh god. He's like, it's like a total affront for like getting Zack Snyder, getting all the fans he gets. Because I've seen some Zack Snyder fans. They're a lot different than I am. I'm always surprised. I'm super into him. Like, I like all that stuff. And then the people I see who are into him are like, not to be rude, but I see like people who are like super meatheads. You know what I mean? Because that's the type of stuff he makes. You know what I mean? And I'm like, and then when I say I like, and I see like the depths of his cool cinematography, I'll talk to like a meathead and they'll be like, blood. And I'll be like, no, there's more to it than blood. Right. There's more to it than blood. You know, like, God damn it, you know? So like, that's how it is.
Completely right. You hit the nail on the head.
That's how it is. Exactly. I just feel bad for the guy because he is very deep and layered. And then, but because he's super over masculinity, sexualization of women, all that stuff, it kind of goes by the wayside, and it get people, you know, it attracts like
I would agree with that.
All flocks of people, and it loses its Shakespearean touch, you know, because it becomes
blood, no, I agree.
Blood boobs.
You know, you're completely right. I mean, this is the same thing with a lot of Frank Miller stuff. There's so much about Frank Miller's work, especially later on, that becomes very hyper masculine.
Yeah,
and people kind of hyper focus on that rather than the actual storytelling experience the deepness, itself.
Yeah, why is he hyper masculine? Why is he? You know, what caused the dude? Like that's a lot of why I like this Batman. He's a brute. He's just over the top. He's literally everything he does in this book is out of sheer will, but the will comes from deep down, not just like his body can't take. It's cool. It's like his body can't take this shit anymore, but he's just powering through everything. But it's deeper than just powering through. There's the why he's powering through. It's been fucking 20 years since he's been the Bat or something, 15.
Yeah,
I forget what they
just
say.
like in The Dark Knight Rises.
Boo, boo, boo. Oh yeah, that was cool when they can rebuild him and they put the like leg shocks on him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that was cool shit. That was like damn dope. But yeah, definitely for the story, it's a super particular read, but one I think worth it if you're like the type of person who read Watchmen and saw its beauty. There's a lot of people who read Watchmen and just say, it's like, you know, it may be critically acclaimed, but there's always the other side of where people don't get it. You know what I mean? I think with Frank Miller, he's the same way. You take it upon yourself to read it if you want and enjoy it. If you don't, you know, I can't say that you missed out or something, you know, but there's deep stuff in there, and it's cool to, you know, dive into his universe. It was neat. But all right, that's it for the bonus. We'll put it up probably.
Do Twitter handles and stuff, and
yeah. Do you want to shout it out? Do you want to say where we can be found? Did I put you on? Did I put you on? No, not. Let's shout out the pod. Let's shout out the podcast too, like the source.
That's your job. You're the host. That's your job.
All right. Go around the room then. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Tyler.
Yeah, where can they find you, Ty?
You can find me on Twitter talking about comics. It's talking with no G, about with no A, and comics.
If you want to see him getting fights with washed up comic book figures,
that's all I'm going to be doing on there.
Yeah,
catch him out behind the ground round every Sunday.
Every Sunday, bring it on down. I will get into Twitter fights with people. I am petty.
Yeah, that's funny though, because like. It's funny that they make the time too.
Yeah, I got dragged into a Twitter fight with him earlier.
You did?
Or last night for you.
Oh, you
Skyver's friend. Yeah, he was tagging me and stuff as well.
Oh, of course he was.
What a dork. Okay. All right. And let's see.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Sean.Walsh747.
And Crave, we don't have you. You're unsolicited. You're just. You can find him in the club, dude. You can
find me on the interwebs.
Yeah. You'll
we
find
know who you are.
Yeah. That's the way he likes it, and I couldn't agree more.
That's the way.
And like I said, wrapping up, you can find me at Flea's Fist on Instagram and Twitch, and then you can follow us at Sourcewall. Well, everything's listed. Just look at the fucking link. But it's Sourcewall Comics.
And check out our main show.
And we do a podcast, so we're about to actually, you know, do it in a little bit and go live. We a couple bonuses every month, maybe one, maybe two. But check us out at Sourcewall Comics across the interwebs and all that social media garbage. And we have a Patreon too. If you want to join that, you can get in on the Discord, chat with us, and we'll find new ways to incorporate shit. I've been thinking. Let me bring this up as the final thing. I was thinking about saying like, we could every now and then we might be able to pull, like, if we could actually get some crowd action, pull somebody on, you know, for like a convo about a specific topic or something. I thought that'd be cool, like little interaction. So just something to think about. And for the peoples out there, maybe you, who knows? But all right, ta-ta for now. Does everybody want to say goodbye? Bye, y'all.
Adios.
I love you.
Bye.
You're valid. Please call me.
Breathtaking.
Take care.